Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the PodUp with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. PodUp, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning and welcome to a Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Got a good show today. We got JC here in just a second. Then we're going to have James and Tina Bates talking women's swimming here at the University of Florida. Get a rundown on how the Florida women's swimming program is doing. But first, let's go to the Titan More Hotline. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Oh, good. Yeah, good. Just a little chilly this morning. I don't know where this came from, but it's nice. It feels good out there. And I think we have a big weekend planned here. A lot of nice weather planned, a lot of golf planned, a lot of good things going on there, QB and Gator country. How are you today?
I'm good. We got a lot of news and notes here before we get to our discussion today. First, I want to give a congratulations to Annabelle Fuller, who's on the women's Florida golf team. She qualified to play this weekend in the Augusta National Women's Amateur Play. So they get to play Augusta National a week before the Masters. How about that?
That's big time. Big time. She'll never forget it.
Last night Gator baseball beat some third-ranked Ole Miss Rebels 4-1. Softball is at Georgia this weekend. 2 more games against the Rebels in baseball. Also, Scotty Lewis is now going into the NBA draft. He will not be drafted, but good luck to him. And then we didn't get to talk pro day. You know who had the best pro day out of the Gators, JC?
No, I didn't go. Who had?
I know you didn't go, but you do read Twitter. And I saw, and I've been saying it a long time. And Gator people can't stand this poor kid for whatever reason, and they criticize him. He's going to play in the NFL for a long time, and I've been telling people that. Marco Wilson just shredded the 40, the shuttle, the vertical. He's a good player. I don't know what, it is what it is. I told you the reason our secondary played so bad last year because our front four stunk.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Right, I get that. Scotty Lewis, he's the 6th player to leave in a week. And though many are not concerned by this because of the over 1,200 players in the transfer portal, literally.
I'm one of those who says the team will be better next year.
Okay, you have to acknowledge that some folks, but maybe, it does. Some folks want to hear something or understand why it's happening because it's so new to the world of basketball. Transfer portal has become a recent recent phenomenon.
I'm gonna make it very simple
a lot
for
of
people
fans,
out there.
I'm just saying, a lot of fans probably and listen. I'm not worried about these players necessarily because basically you have a bunch of guys. Noah Locke, kind of a slow-footed, one-dimensional type of player. Payne, Glover, Osifo, those guys were backups, basically. Scotty Lewis couldn't throw it in the ocean last year. And Trey Mann, had to do what he had to do. Castleton is thinking about it now. I see that, and I don't think the Gators are going to be in trouble unless they don't pick up some quality players out of the portal, which I expect they will.
I looked at the transfer portal last night, JC. There are so many good players in that transfer portal. Yeah. And there's a few from the University of Minnesota that I hope we go get. A guy named Marcus Carr is by far maybe the best point guard in the portal. Phenomenal player. I'm surprised he's not going pro. But anyway, for the average fan, the SEC, every school in the SEC besides Arkansas and Alabama who made the deepest run, which they still probably will have some guys go in the transfer portal because that's just the way it is. They have a minimum of three to four players from every team in the SEC is in the transfer portal. Look, the days of Johnny C, point guard out of Buchholz, signing with school X and going to be there 3 or 4 years is over with. It's done. Because if you're a star, you're going to be one and done. You're gone. Well, now, if you don't play at a school, you're going to go to find a place where you can play. And I'm telling you right now, Florida's basketball team, in my opinion, and I don't even know who's going to be on our roster next year, will be a better overall basketball team from a talent standpoint than what we had this year. Because I think we overachieved, way overachieved.
It was a tough year in that losing your best player so early had to be overcome. Dealing with COVID had to be overcome. Dealing with, whatever it was, the distractions and so forth. But I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on basketball. That season's over. But I think that you've got to just hope that Coach White will be able to get and attract these kids to Florida that you're talking about.
Think about all the transfers.
There's a lot of schools out there.
We've had a ton of transfers come play for him. You go back. You had Canyon Berry. You had Eli, the Russian that one year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nobody cares about that QB. That's fine. I get it. They recycle players.
I'm telling you. My point is, you're acting like he's not going to be able to get anybody to come here.
No, I said I hope he can get players to come here. I don't see him lining up, knocking on the door right now.
How do you know that? How do you know?
Well, because there hasn't been any announcement of a certain player coming to the Gators. All the announcements have been players leaving the Gators.
Nobody that is in the transfer portal has announced where they're going yet, JC.
I know. Okay.
Relax.
I'm not worried about it. Trust me.
I'm telling you right now.
If you think I'm losing sleep over this, you're crazy. I'm not losing sleep over it.
But I'm gonna make a prediction right now that Florida will be a more talented basketball team next year than they were this year. You can book that.
Okay,
Take that to the bank.
So then we got news that Roy Williams is leaving after 33 years. And that's going to be interesting to see who wants to go to North Carolina, because that's kind of a job that doesn't come open all that much. And it's a, what they call a blue blood program, right? And so, that's going to be an attractive landing spot for certain coaches out there, I'm sure, who had, big years or who became really on the forefront of the college basketball world. And one guy I can think of right now is the Alabama coach, but that doesn't mean he's going to go or is even interested in going. But that's a job that you have to at least, you have to listen, right? If they want to talk to you. So we'll see. I don't know who North Carolina's going to get.
Yeah, Chris Beer is now the head coach at Texas. So the Texas Tech job is open now. So we'll see what happens there.
Wasn't he a Texas Longhorn to begin with?
I think he was an assistant or something at one time.
Yeah. So, I guess, these are attractive places for cunning new coaches out there on the college basketball scene. We'll see how it goes. But, the big games are tomorrow. That's really where I want to focus my attention in terms of college basketball, on the two games tomorrow. And I think we'll see a much more competitive game in the first game than we will likely in the second game, where Gonzaga and UCLA are going to play at 8:30 tomorrow night. But Houston and Baylor is a game that I just think is going to be just really entertaining basketball to watch. You're going to have so many good players.
Can I make a comment about that game one time to get my point in again? The starting 10 for that in that game, 8 of them played elsewhere. Okay, made my point. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't care about that because I agree with it. But what I'm saying to you is that whether you think it's reality or not, Florida fans are somewhat alarmed by the
because
fact
they're not educated. They're
not
educated.
Whatever you want to call them, they're the people buying the tickets, and
they don't go to the games. When's the last time you went to O'Connell Center and it was packed? When's the last time?
I think we had this little China Corona.
No. I'm talking about before that. The only time, and this is what pisses me off about basketball fans that say they're fans. The only time that O'Connell Center,
fans now.
Only time the O'Connell Center's ever sold out is when the Kentucky Wildcats roll into town. Other than that, there's nobody. And until you go to Rupp Arena or you go to the Dean Dome or one of those places, and it doesn't matter if they're playing Manhattan or if they're playing East Carolina, the place is packed. Those are basketball schools.
You had, before the virus, you had 10,000 easily.
No, you did not.
Yes, you did. Go look it up. Yes, you did. I'm certain.
JT, I was sitting in the arena and 4,000 of the seats are empty. So it's not full.
All right. Granted, in October, November, whenever they start the year, maybe it wasn't full. But once the conference started,
the only time that place is ever sold out is when the Kentucky Wildcats come here.
They still put 10,000, whether it's a sellout or not. I saw attendance figures well over 10,000 fans for most conference games.
It's sketchy. It's just like, when they tell you that there's X amount of people in the stadium, there really aren't. I'm trying to make a point here that whether the Gator basketball fans are concerned, that's fine. But what they don't understand is if they really watch college basketball, and this is where I would criticize maybe Mike White and them. I don't think our talent has been very good. Because, JC, let me ask you this. The guys that have transferred in the last few years, and including the guys this year, you let me know where they have been playing. And you can't tell me.
No.
There's only one, Andrew Nemhard. All the other guys, I don't know where they're playing.
Okay, all's well. Everything's great. Florida basketball's in great hands. Don't worry about it. Is that what you want me to say?
Let me tell you something. They will be better next year.
Okay, you can say that. Go ahead. Okay, we'll see.
JC,
I'm rooting for
here's what you don't understand. Here's what you don't understand.
I'm pulling for them.
Your team, was your team better this year or last year?
This year.
They had 4 transfers. Thank you.
Transfers are different. They're not all transfers are the same, QB.
Right. But my point is Alabama was not the team until Quinterly came from Villanova. The kid came from Yale. But the other kid came from I forgot what school.
But maybe some folks are just saying, whether we recycle players or not, and since that seems to be the new way of things, maybe we are having a hard time evaluating who we should have come here. Because as you've just said, all the guys leaving basically aren't worth
here's the other thing. But here's my point.
Who is the guy that brought them in here is the problem people are having. So if we lose 6 players and they're not that good, then maybe there's a problem with bringing them in the first place, QB.
Well, but here's
That's
my point.
What folks are saying.
Here's the point. I've been trying to tell people for the last 20 years. You're not going to get elite basketball players to come to the University of Florida. Because if I'm an elite player, I'm going to Kentucky, Duke, one of those places.
I don't know. You just talked to me about some guy from Minnesota.
Well, he's in the transfer portal, so he may end up at Duke or Carolina, but that's the first guy I would go after.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they do. I don't know.
But again, they don't have to come from big schools. The 2 guys, like I told you, that Alabama is after is from East Carolina and Furman. Mm-hmm. So, again, people need to relax, and they don't know how athletics work is my point.
We'll see. All right, we'll see.
All right, I guarantee you they're better next year. Book it. All right, JC, how your golfers doing, by the way?
I got no idea. That's just been one round. I do know that
mine are doing better than yours. Let's put it that way.
So it sounds like you knew the answer to the question you asked.
I did.
So a former Gator is winning, and he has not been on the scene in quite some time.
He's been
as
injured
he ages.
A lot.
Yeah, but he's also getting up there in age too.
He can't be more than 35 years old.
Really?
Camilo
you don't think Vajagas is
I guarantee he's not even 35. I'm going to look it up right now.
Yeah, you look that up, and I'm going to go through this right now because I see you have Scheffler at 4 under. And, it's, my guys are kind of scared. Oh, there's your Woodland at 1 under.
You got to remember, Camillo's had some family issues.
So how old is
his young daughter?
Yeah, that's bad. I've got Ryan Palmer. He's even.
He is. He's 39.
So, okay, as I just said, he's getting up there in age. Tony Finau is +1, 39. Okay, good. 39-year-olds have very little it's not the same as a 22-year-old like you call them, the young guns that are out there on the tour right now. Yeah, 39-year-old dude. He's almost 40. I got Palmer. So hopefully second round, we'll see who makes the cut. I'd like to just make the cut at this point with these guys I've got.
We got Facebook Live here brought to you by Melon Law. John says, what do you think of Sully bringing Mason Leftwich out of the bullpen this weekend? I think he made a change. He went the route of what the Tampa Bay Rays do, having not a starter, but I forgot what they call it. But anyway, yeah, Mace came in and pitched real well the last 5. Gary says, I'm not angry, Gary. I'm just trying to make a point that I don't know. I don't think people here's what
you are yelling at Gator fans.
No,
yes,
JC. Okay, explain to me this. Okay, explain to me this. If Gator fans are so upset that guys are leaving, they were upset at the same players for not winning games.
Maybe they're upset at the fact that this guy's not bringing in good players, as you kind of just mentioned.
Okay, but my point is,
that's Billy, my point.
How many McDonald All-Americans did Billy bring in?
I don't know. Scotty Lewis was a McDonald All-American. He was a McDonald's All-American.
Trey Mann was as well.
It didn't work out. Trey Mann was Scotty. Too. Sure. I don't know.
It doesn't always work out. But my point is, Gator fans are upset with these guys not scoring, not shooting, not putting the ball in the basket. But now they're upset with the same guys that couldn't do that turned it over 20-something times a game. Yeah. They want the same guys back turning it over? It makes no sense. It'd be just like having the same quarterback.
Maybe they just want to see these players play better. And maybe that's got a little bit to do with coaching. Maybe not. No, I don't know. You're paying some guy $3 million.
JC.
If he's getting $3 million to show up, if he's getting $3 million to show up, and these players, as you would say, are underachieving, does a Florida fan have any recourse at all?
I didn't say they underachieved. I said they overachieved because here's. Let me just tell you a little thing about coaching.
They're all
a coach can only do so much. Okay.
Right.
How much let's go back to the Gator fans with Felipe Franks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did he ever improve? Maybe a little. But my point is, you can only do so much.
He started every game. He started every game he played in.
Yes, he did. But my point is, some players, you can coach your tail off. Sometimes it just doesn't translate. It happens all the time.
We'll see. We'll see what this guy can do with his roster. He's going to have to find somebody. He's paid to do it.
Right now, since you're going to owe me a lunch, we're going to go to dinner on this bet that I guarantee you it's a more athletic and a better basketball team next year. Book it.
All right. Well, that means if that's the case, they have to go to the second round of the NCAA tournament before I would ever pay that bet. You can say what you want.
Okay. But again, for anybody that says these players didn't get better, they didn't develop, you as a coach can only do so much. There are so many athletes in the world that never get better.
You know, the Ole Miss coach said that Mike White could have been easily voted the coach of the year in the SEC because of what he was able to actually achieve with Johnson falling and all of the things they had to overcome. So this is not an indictment on the guy you seem to always defend. This is just questioning the process of what is happening. Let me finish at that program. And I know it's not a basketball school. Well, if that's all you're ever going to say, why even bother with it? You know, why even pay attention to it?
Dude, he's taken the team to the NCAA tournament 5 of the 6 years.
I'm not saying, and again, you didn't hear what I just said. The Ole Miss coach, Kermit Davis, said that Mike White could have easily been the coach of the year in the SEC. Did you hear what I just said?
I know
and that coach overcame a lot of adversity with his team. However, there is no reason why you can't, as a fan or a neutral observer, question the program. Because there is always going to be something that doesn't go the way you want it to go.
Okay, well, let's question the football program.
Sure. Go ahead.
You can question every damn program that is, but until somebody's educated.
Let's talk about that. You want to talk about that? Let's go with LSU. What happened in that game? Let's go with the Alabama game. How'd they do there? And then what happened in the bowl game? Yeah, you can question the football program because that bowl game was an abject disaster and an embarrassment. And the way that coach acted last year, according to a guy that you talk to all the time, Mike Bianchi, it was embarrassing how he behaved after the game and some of the press conferences and so forth. And if you're afraid to say that, that's fine. You may have an agenda. But a lot of people are not afraid to say that because that's what happened. So,
but I'm just going to say what Duke
won
says
8 games. They won 8-5.
8 games is not acceptable in football.
That's fine. It better not be here. If it is, that's all you're ever going to be.
Yeah, Duke says here, get off the homer wagon. There's a reason that the team has fallen apart. Dude.
Wagon.
Oh, my gosh.
You are on the homer wagon.
Yeah, I'm on the homer. I'm on the real I'm on the reality wagon again. I want somebody to tell me. I want somebody to tell me next year at this time where all our transfers are playing. Well, I'll be anxious to hear that.
We'll see.
I'll be anxious.
We'll see. Well, I think people are more interested in who's coming now because obviously we've seen the guys leave.
Here's the thing, JC.
Let's find out who's coming.
When they're winning games next year, and they're going to lose some games too, ain't nobody going to give a damn where these guys transfer to. They're not going to care. All right, we got to get to the comfort temp. This day in sports, comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. From now until May 31st, get our preventative maintenance plan for $169 and save almost 40% off the normal cost. Also, any maintenance schedule between now and May 31st will be entered to win a Nest thermostat installation. All right, this day in sports. Speaking of basketball, I'm going to
need a brain installation after this. Go ahead.
Why?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
In 2007, the Gators beat Ohio State to win back-to-back titles. Corey Brewer's named most outstanding player, and I was there to witness that. And that team was extremely talented, okay? Again, but anybody can sit here this time next year.
You know what's different about that team now? Is that those players actually stuck around for a couple years.
Because they didn't have the transfer portal back in those days.
I know. But I don't think
people don't understand.
Well, that's true. They didn't have it, but Billy was running a pretty exciting program.
Yeah. Well, Billy had some bad years too. People forget that.
He did.
Freddie says,
he did.
You guys need to head to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and get a Bloody Mary.
We did.
Yes.
Well, I tell you, I want to thank Andrew and Samantha and some of the other folks who had us walking around there yesterday. And I can't imagine that establishment not killing it with the patrons as we go through the summer when they open and, of course, into the football season. It's really unique, folks. This will be a place that is unlike anything you have here in Gainesville or anywhere near here for that matter. And this is high-end dining at its finest, but you're going to have a touch of athletics in there that's going to be exciting with the televisions and all of the amenities. There are rooms in there where you can host events. There are rooms upstairs and downstairs where you can have private outings with people and that you want to work with in a private setting. And then you can, of course, be out there in the general population. You can go upstairs. You can stay downstairs. Bars are everywhere. I mean, they're putting a lot of effort and money into this, and I hope and I am quite certain it's going to be a resounding success. I really enjoyed that tour I had yesterday.
Yeah, we got a text on the Titan More text line from Dara. Says, good morning, guys. Taking the grandson over tomorrow to the new ballpark. Hopefully to see a Gator.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend and happy Easter.
Yeah.
Happy Easter
Hey, that was a big win over Mississippi last. That's a good win. That's a quality win because this is a good team in the final. It's big.
Yep.
Oh, they're all quality wins, right? But this was something that I think needed to happen after what happened last week.
Yeah. Well, JC, our time has run out. I love the discussion because I just think it's funny. It's not funny because, you hear the same fans complaining about player X turning the ball over, can't score, can't shoot, can't rebound, gets pushed around underneath the boards. Mm-hmm. And then those guys leave and now they're all upset. Well, trust me, it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out.
All right. Well, we'll go with your optimism, QB.
Well, JC, it's not optimistic. It's reality. Think about Florida football, how well the transfers that have come in. If we don't have those transfers come in the last 2 years, we're not the same team. So people building programs are over. They're over in basketball. You can forget it. So anyway, we got to get to a break. JC, have a good weekend, my man.
We'll see you Monday. Okay.
Let me tell you about a new product here, G-Tech Clean, one of our new sponsors.
G-Tech Clean is your complete germ protection. It's EPA approved to kill COVID-19 and kills 99.9% of all germs and viruses, black mold, and also deodorizes. It's the safest, affordable way to clean and sanitize your business, no matter if it's a gym, school, retail store, or office. Use it in your home, anywhere from the bathroom to the kids' room. It's formulated to provide 24/7 protection and is over 30 times more durable than any other cleaners. Try G-Tech at home as well.
G-Tech Clean. I use it to keep all the germs and viruses that are COVID-related out of my office and my PodUp studio, and so should you. We're going to take our first time out of the pro when we come back. We'll be joined by James and Tina Bates talking a little Florida women's swimming. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, Cornerstone Financial, McDonald's of Gainesville, My IT Masters, Gainesville Neon and Signs, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Chick-fil-A on Archer Road, Ava and Smith, Dowling Signs, Chomp Harder Apparel, Ruse Ogra Agent, State Farm Insurance, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Dave & Buster's, Nike, Sushi Hana, Uzzoline Day Spa, and coming June of 2021, HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and Visor's Rooftop Bar. We'll see you at Celebration Point where the Gators go to celebrate. We're now going to go to the Titan MRI hotline, and we're going to be joined by the Bates family. James and Tina Bates, former athletes here at the University of Florida back in the day. Now we're going to talk a little women's swimming, since Bates is very educated on it now, knows more than his wife. But good morning, folks. How are y'all?
Yeah, we are. We froze up on you there. You said women's swimming, and then we lost you. So we'll just kind of go from there. We'll just take it and run.
Go with it.
By the way, Niner. Go ahead, Tina. Talk about women's swimming, since you're a woman.
Wow. Okay. So we were just chatting a little bit, and just quickly, the programs at UF had been combined for about 20 years, I would say. So, and Greg Troy was kind of in charge of all that, and so everyone trained together. The programs were together, and then about 3 years ago, maybe 4 now, but the UAA decided, and Scott Strickland and all those guys decided it's best to split the programs. I think the programs that are split had the most success, and they saw that. So Florida, being Florida, always wanting to be the best in everything, they split them up. So you have Jeff Papel, head of the women's, and then they have great coaches on that side, and then on the guys, fantastic coaches too, with Anthony Nesty, whom you probably remember a little bit.
Yep. He's been on this program. We've talked male swimming, but we haven't gone to the women's portion yet. And the reason I want to bring y'all on, for all our listeners that aren't aware of it, y'all have a daughter, Talia Bates. I think she's a sophomore, All-American swimmer, but you also have another one coming next year, Georgia Bates. And I just want to talk to y'all about, both being Gators, living in Gainesville. Was it a foregone conclusion that Talia and Georgia were going to swim for the Gators, or did y'all even look at other schools?
We actually, Talia liked Cal a lot, and she liked the coach out there. Terry McKeever is her name. And she looked at Cal, and we were, what would have been her junior years? Her junior year. We were getting ready to make a big sweep, and we were on the eve of getting in the car and driving to Charlottesville, Virginia, and then down through Chapel Hill, and then over to Auburn. And maybe Texas was in the mix there too. And so right on the eve of that, we were upstairs in my studio, just sitting around talking about our trip and how we're going to plan it out. And Talia just goes, "What am I doing? I'm a Gator." And so we're like, okay. I wasn't going to say anything. I was trying to hide it, that I really wanted her to go there, because I didn't want to be that guy, because, I wanted, it's her life. And as you well know, it's such a big decision. I mean, look at your life since deciding you're going to be a Gator, and the same with us. Tina's from Illinois. I came down from Tennessee. and we both lived in Yon Hall. I love your Howard Brown special there.
Howard Brown.
Yon Hall shirt. But so it certainly would seem that way. And then with Georgia, it was the same way. It was at first it's like, oh, wow, this is really fun to have all these people interested in me. But what am I doing? And we thought that we knew everything there was to know about the academic center, and Tim Ida is still there, so we figured, well, everything's the same. Hawkins Center is going to be pretty much the same, nutrition. But when we went on our official visit with her, we were blown away at how nice everything is and what a great job they do taking care of the student athletes there. And we were so fired up that she wanted to be a Gator.
So Talia's on campus. Georgia comes next year. Was it like I'm gonna follow my sister and mom's footsteps, or did she want to ever think about breaking away and going somewhere else?
I think she did. She did. I think initially. I think that was the thing. Initially, like James said, when you start to get some of this attention from some of these other schools, she thought, "Gosh, maybe I want to do my own thing." But then when she got into it, and she knows the program and loves all the girls and Timite and, just all the same things that we know. I think she started really looking at it. And, you can't deny Florida's academic, reputation, across the country. So when she started looking at some of these other places, our kids are Florida kids. They love, living in Florida, the beach, all those kinds of things. So I think it just kind of came pretty clear. And she said, "Gosh, I think I want to commit. I want to go ahead and commit." And I'm like, "Oh my God!" It was exciting when they kind of come to that conclusion.
And now, Shane, and the thing is now with the COVID year, Talia, if she chooses to do so, she can take that extra year so they can swim together for an extra year in college.
So let me ask you this, because, like I said, I'm not really educated when it comes to swimming. I know you got the freestyle, you got the backstroke, the breaststroke, you got the medley or whatever all that is. So do they both swim the same events?
Yes. But okay. So a lot of that has to do with their upbringing. They were brought up in a program that they have them swim kind of everything when they're younger. So then that way it even though for example, Talia, swam sprints in high school. And, I think, that was her thing, 5,300 fly in high school. She, got second in the NCAA in the 200 free this year. And a lot of that has to do with the way they were brought up. They were brought up not to just be narrow-minded and locked in on one thing. Obviously, you want to try to pick the best events for you what's going to score the most points for the team. But I think being brought up in a program that teaches you, not to specialize. That's anyway. So that kind of, they both do very similar events though. Yes. They're both like 200 and down, fly, back, and free is what they swim usually.
Okay. Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today, 352-244-0840. Speaking with James and Tina Bates and Hank. Hank wants some TV time, or not TV time, but podcast time. There he is. Hey, so another question, because we talk about different sports, football, basketball, and I think maybe gymnastics are the only sports that everybody on the team, is on scholarship. From a swimming standpoint, how many scholarships do the girls and the guys get in swimming?
I think the guys have, and I could be a little wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure the guys have 9.5. So Coach Nesty has 9.5 to work with, and that includes diving. And they carry a roster of, I would say, somewhere around 35, around there, 30 to 35. And then with the girls, I think they have 13 scholarships. And, obviously, I think the way the coaches do that is if they know someone's going to pop in right away and score, at SECs, because that's the whole point is James, come on.
Show them all the strokes.
Yeah. So, but if they know that they've got someone that's going to come in and score right away, obviously they're probably going to get a little more money. And then if they improve through college, they I think tend to give them more scholarship money as they go on as well.
All right. So we're speaking with James and Tina Bates. Tina is the better athlete in the family, obviously. So let's go back to the girls when they were growing up, when we were real young. Bates, you said you were one kind of, I picture you as one of those guys that kind of sits on the top row, doesn't say a whole lot at the swim meets. I'm totally kidding. I know you're leading the cheers and all that stuff. But do you guys, I don't want to say pressured them, but what got them wanting to swim at a young age?
I think it's, we had 3 kids all within about 2, they were 2 years apart, and they were, you know how it is when you're young, they've got all this energy. It would be hot in the summer. So even when they were tiny, I mean, like Georgia was 3, and I think we threw her into the swim team because we would go for our jog, and then we'd drop them off at swim team and screech out and go for a jog while they were at swim practice. And so really it was so hot in the summers. And to me, swimming is so good for you, fitness and just energy and all those different things, especially for little kids. So we started ours doing that summer league, which Luke did with the kids at least one summer, I know.
Yeah. So Tina, has the training changed a whole lot since when you were swimming at Florida? Because I just remember the training schedule for swimmers is absolutely insane. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. But has it changed 30 years later?
Yes and no. So I think I've actually talked to like one of the coaches, because I was curious too a little bit about that. It's more specific. So they work more specifics of racing, and the kids have gotten so much faster. I mean, it's amazing collectively how much better and faster they've gotten, but they just do a lot more specific training, like race specific, how they're going to do the races and things. However, I'll tell you, maybe it was a little more grinded out, just yardage back in our day. So that would be the difference, but they're still putting in tons of hours. Like, they're up at, especially this year with COVID, they couldn't be at the pool at the same time as the guys and, various things. So they're up at, 4 or 5 a.m., 6 days a week, back, I think 3 days a week in the afternoon, plus lifting, plus dry land. That's like an everyday thing. And that's just the girls. I think the guys have like 9 workouts a week. So it's an absolute grind, and it's a lifestyle. And, that's why it's so rewarding when they get their best times, or,
And Shane, when we were out there on the football field, and when I first got to school, I had never been around swimming or swimmers at all. And so Tina, she wouldn't take no for an answer as far as dating the two of us. And so finally I caved. And the more I got to know her, the more I realized about swimming. And anytime I would start feeling sorry for myself with, 2-a-days or something like that, all I would do is think, well, my girlfriend's over there doing this twice a day, every day of the year, and I'm going to stop feeling sorry for myself in a hurry. But I'll never forget one of the first times she came to one of our practices. That night, she was talking to me, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys get to stand around at practice." And it was like, and I never thought of it like that, but it's like they never, ever stop. And they'll do these sets to where you feel like you're going to die. You'll feel like you're going to throw up. And then all you get is 15 seconds rest, and you got to do the exact same thing again and again and again and again. And that's what's really cool about going back to Talia and coming off of NCAAs is, and Tina said earlier, she's always been a sprinter, and she's got good speed. She's naturally fast because of Tina's blood. With the linebacker blood, she's gotten more explosive off of the blocks and the walls. So that's really what the difference has been. But the fact that she became a really good 200 swimmer, so it's a lot different than just swimming a 50 down and back. And so that can only come through just training your guts out. And she just really likes the grind of the training. And so that's what's really cool. And we were really proud of that NCAA meet. She finished second. So second in the nation in the 200 free, and she's second all time at UF, tied with Nicole Hazlett in the 200 free. So it was a pretty good meet for her.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So Batesy, back in the day when we were in school, the swimmers were the biggest partiers from the athlete standpoint. Do they still party pretty hard these days?
Come on, I want to lay you. Remember the come on, I want to lay you.
They shut that down. I think they said no more. The way I see it, I feel like with the schedules the way they are, the early mornings, I see them being a little bit more serious. I do think I do think they like to have fun and hang out, and they're all super close, as you can imagine, just because going through that type of a training year in and out, and everything that goes along with it. They're super close, but they do have a lot of fun. But I feel like they're a little bit more locked in. They just I think the coaches expect them to be, and this year especially, they couldn't. I mean, you can't really mix with a lot of other people this year because they had to take care of their teammates with all the COVID stuff, and otherwise some of these programs will get shut down for a while.
So as parents, I know y'all went to a couple of swim meets. I don't know if that was this year, last year. Everything's kind of run together. But how cool is it to go to these swim meets? Because Bates, I know you're very quiet at the swim meets. You get the crowd going and everything, right?
What am I?
No. So the president of the parents or whatever.
That's you?
No. He appointed, after the freshman year, he appointed James like the cheerleader. Like the head
cheerleader, yeah.
So you're Mr. Two Bits for swimming.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They all work so hard, and they're all such good kids, both the guys and the girls, that I just, it's just so much fun to watch them go compete. And it's when, like, the SEC meet last year, when times were normal and the men and women were swimming together. Like, that's one of the coolest sporting events I've ever been to. It's just so much fun. There's so much great energy, and it makes me proud that we can help to try to be a part of that energy and try to go there and clap them all on. Because like Tina said earlier, that's the neat thing about swimming is it's not always about touching the wall first, even though that would always be nice. But it's like these personal bests are such big accomplishments when you're swimming that fast. And so, yeah, and a lot of them we've known for a long time, whether they've been on Gator Swim Club growing up with our kids or at all the meets, across Florida, across the South, really growing up. So it's really been fun, and proud to have a couple of swimmers in the family. Okay,
this may be a dumb question, but has the Florida hosted the SEC swim meet championships?
Not a dumb question. If you remember the name Elizabeth Beisel, which was about 10 years ago, I would say.
And Lochte was on that.
Yeah, and Lochte. Yeah. So no, Lochte's in his 30s. Lochte's like 35 now, but that was the last time they hosted it. In fact, we went to it. It was so crowded. I remember, but it was probably like early 2000. So it's been about 15 years, I would say. But they hosted it here. It was, they don't have the capacity.
They don't have the facility to do it. That's where I was going with this. So when you look at the other SEC schools, because, we haven't hosted a softball SEC tournament here in like 30 something years. I think next year Tim gets to host the SEC softball tournament. So when you look at the facilities from a swimming standpoint, what are some of the best ones in the SEC?
They're all pretty good, but the ones that stand out in the SEC are Auburn and Georgia, most likely. So the way Florida will recruit is they'll say we have great training facilities, it's true. They have the pool right behind you. They've got the pool next to it. And, of course, the weight coaches and trainers and everything they have with that. But they don't try to claim to have the best facility in the SEC.
Yeah. But it is big for a lot of swimmers to be able to train outside, which is always nice. Like, you got these kids coming from all over. You and I, we were out of state. Tina was from Illinois, and it's kind of like Spurrier's big hook that he used to do on the out of staters. You got all these people saving up their whole life trying to turn 60, and you got a chance to come right now, and you're only 18. Shoot, and it's true. It's like if you grow up in Ohio or Pennsylvania. You don't go on spring break to Toronto. You come down to Florida.
Yep, that's true. All right, so Gator swim season is pretty much over right now, but there are still athletes that are training to try to make the Olympic team, right?
Exactly. So, like, for example, the boys just got back. And they basically got 1 day off
from NCAA.
After NCAA. So after their entire swim season, 1 day off, and then they go right back into training because they're going to have a few guys they'll probably place on the Olympic team. And then the girls, because they were the week before, they actually had the option to take the week off, but they're already back doing doubles, 12,000 yards a day. This is like first day back.
Sounds terrible. Sounds terrible.
Do you ever swim, Shane? Do you ever swim for exercise? I know you frequent Gainesville Health and Fitness, but you ever go?
No, I mean, I can swim. I was a pretty good swimmer back in the day, but I don't know how many laps I could swim without stopping. That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah. I mean, or just like, what does that appeal to you at all? It's like to just go and get a swim workout in? Because
it doesn't, but I probably need to because my body, they say it's good for you if your body hurts. So I probably need to start swimming.
Yep.
So Bates, are you swimming laps on a daily basis?
No, but I have one of the bungee cord. It's like a pole that you stick in on the pool deck, and then it's like a big strong fishing pole.
Oh, you swim in place.
Yeah, like a treadmill almost. Yeah. But I love to swim. I'm just not very good.
Yeah. So does Talia have an opportunity to make the Olympic team? I'm not sure from a timing standpoint how that works, but I'm just asking.
Well, so you have to qualify for the Olympic trials. And oddly, they have this little window where you can qualify. So yeah, she has qualifying time. They're going to be going to but see, because of COVID, their entire long course season last summer she didn't swim in a long course meet. And not just her, there's some others also.
So basically, just for example, everything you ask about their season, their whole college season is all short course. So the pool that you have behind you is cut in half.
That's long course.
That's what I'm saying. It would be cut in half.
Yeah.
So they would, so rather than just one time down for your 50, you're down and back. So the walls come into play. But the Olympics and international swimming is all long course. So, for instance, Talia finished second in the nation in the 200 free, but she doesn't have a 200 freestyle Olympic trials cut because when she was swimming long course, that really wasn't even her event yet. So she's got to go to one of these meets and hopefully get a cut for that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But having a cut, anyone who has a cut, obviously has that opportunity. So anyway, it's exciting. There's always a lot of competition, but for the United States, they take like one or two per event, and United States has good swimming.
Yeah. All right. Before we let y'all go, let everybody know. We've talked about the two girls that swim. You got Jake, who's a captain. If you're going to catch some fish, let everybody know how they can get in touch with Jake if they need to go fishing.
Muy Grande Fish, like really big in Spanish, muygrandefish.com. And Captain Bates, he's our favorite. We've done a lot of talking about the girls here, but Jake's our favorite. And so you guys need to go support Jake. Just kidding. But we're really proud of him. He's at UNF and he's putting a lot of people on big fish. And he gets a lot of people from the swim community, a lot of swim coaches. Martin Zubero's been out with him a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Greg Burgess, Greg Burgess was at school when you were there. Greg Troy. But thank you for giving us a chance to take care of Jake, and we'll give you a chance if you want to take care of Brooke with all of her gear. Tina wore the other day. Tina had on some Brooke Matthews gear, and Jake noticed it, said that looks really nice.
Oh wow! Okay. Also, let everybody know what y'all are up to these days. Bates, let everybody know you got like 8 million things you got going on. Tina, what are you up to? Just being a mom?
No, because everyone's going to college. We're like going to be, we don't have the children living at home anymore. This is George's last year.
We got him though.
Yeah, we got Hank. But so about 4 or 5 years ago, I wanted to get back into doing something, and so I'm a teacher with Florida Virtual School. So I've been doing that for about 3.5 years. So I really like it.
Cool, Bates. You're still a professor, right?
Yeah. I think it's my 9th semester right now, and I love teaching that class. I actually took the class on a field trip yesterday to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Freddie Wiebe gave us a tour, and a week and a half ago, I guess Tina and we actually met him for the first time we had seen it, because he's asked me to do the kids menu for Spurrier's restaurant. So I'm really excited about that.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. I had no idea that a restaurant could be that cool and have that much going on, especially one in Gainesville. And so I'm so fired up. And through it all, as we were going through the tour, I thought, oh my gosh, my class needs to meet Freddie. They need to see, they're all kids that want to get into TV, that would love to do broadcasting work. But, that you also need to be around people that understand, how other things operate and, what kind of grind it takes to be successful at whatever you want to do. And so they were all blown away. So I was really proud of able to kind of take them up there and show them around and have them meet Freddie. And so it was cool. I can't wait till June 10th for it to open.
Yeah, I only had one request when I found out about this restaurant a couple years ago, is Jerry's chocolate chip cookies had to be on the menu.
Yes.
Remember those?
And I hear they are going to be on the menu.
Yes. They're so dang good.
But what they need to do, though, is they can't have some fancy plate. I know.
No, they got to be
just wrapped in foil.
Tin foil. Yep. I agree with that. That's great. Yeah. Well, I appreciate the Bates family joining us and educating us on swimming, since none of us are real educated when it comes to it. Like I was telling James, Tina, I don't know if you heard before we started, I tried to follow the swim meet this year, the SEC and all that, and I felt like it went on for a month. It was like the longest event ever. But he explained to me why, because of COVID.
Yeah. And it is, the SEC meet is 4 days. So 4 days men, 4 women, men, and then the NCAA was 4 and 4. Typically it's the SEC is a 5-day when it's combined, and it's long because they swim multiple events, like 4 or 5 relays. I mean, it's a big thing.
All right, Bates, you want to put a plug in for any apparel or paintings or anything you got going on right now?
I'm too busy right now. I'm trying to catch up. I'm playing catch up. So I'll take a rain check. Okay. But BatesyPaint.com, or follow me on Instagram at JB8SY for all kinds of fun. Everything you've ever dreamed of in Instagram follow.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all taking the time to join the program.
Thanks a ton, Shane. Always good to see you.
All right, that's the Bates. Join us on the Titan More Hotline. We're going to take a timeout, come back and wrap up this Friday edition. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning.
Hey, Gators, this is Coach Steve Spurrier. PodUp with Matthews in the Morning. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, where you matter most. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. G-Tech Sport, keep your athletes in the game with G-Tech Sport. Celebration Point Town Center, Center State Bank, Chris Doring Mortgage. Some of our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, MM Parish, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Route Spot, Okido America, Gators Dockside, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, TB Financial, Meadowbrook Golf Course, Darshakow Insurance. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios at Center State Bank. We put business first. We're the largest community bank in the state of Florida and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 4 convenient Alachua County locations. Center State Bank, member FDIC. I want to thank JC for joining us, and obviously James and Tina Bates. We had to take that interview because they were very busy. That's why we didn't get to some of your Facebook Live. I know Dan and Brian, y'all had some questions for the Bates family, but we'll try to get them back on live where y'all can communicate with them through Facebook. But appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you tell your friends and family to follow us. You can follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can listen to us on 30 digital platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many, many others. Also, our winner of our G-Tech Clean Survival Kit. This week, the winner was Larry Williams. Larry Williams is the winner. Next week, got a good lineup. Make sure you tune in. Check it out on our Facebook. We got a great lineup for next week. Looking forward to that. I hope everyone has a great weekend, a great Easter, And we appreciate you tuning in. Today's show's a wrap, brought to you by Wrap Spot. Be safe, folks. We'll see you next week.